Hey guys, how you doing? This is K5DA. My name is Cliff. I'm with the Las Vegas DX Foundation, and this is Sharon.
K7STJ.
We really got a good show for you tonight. We've got one gentleman who is a real DXer. It's Real DX Club, so we're going to bring one of our stars on tonight. His name is Gary. His call sign is W7 Alpha Delta, and he's on the honor roll. And yeah, you say that he's on the honor roll to a DXer, and we all know that that's the ARRL DX honor roll. It means he's worked every country in the world. So, and he's been a ham for a long time. So, he's the ultimate DXer, and the honor roll is like something to really to work toward, to achieve, and it's very difficult. And you just imagine how hard it is to work every single country in the world, And what do you think, Sharon?
I'm impressed.
Somebody got a dog.
I go, what was that? No, that's pretty cool. I mean, considering I've only worked 3. Then Slovenia. Who else have I worked?
You worked a Russian as well,
Russia,
right?
yeah.
You worked UA3
Oh, and
KW.
the Netherlands, yeah.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, they always seem to be on the air, and those 3 I got. So there you go. I like the POTA.
Yeah, that's right. You're a POTA girl.
I'm
okay.
a POTA girl.
And well, look on the screen now. I see we've already got Gary here now. How you doing, Gary?
I'm doing pretty good tonight.
Okay, great. Hey, thank you for coming on, and I really appreciate you taking your time to help us out with our show. And you are a DXer, is that correct?
Yes, I've been doing that for quite a few years.
That's great. And how long have you been licensed?
Well, I was first licensed in high school, and that was in mid-'60s.
Okay.
And I was buddy with a guy that had polio there.
Oh, wow.
He was kind of shredding. It turned out that he was a ham radio operator, and he invited me over to his house to look at setup there one day, and I did that, and I was fascinated, especially by the postcards he had on his wall with all the foreign countries and stuff. And I asked him about this, and he said, "Yeah, once I contact a foreign country, we have the option of exchanging QSL cards, which are like postcards, and these are confirming that we have made the contact between the two of us. And this is required if you apply for awards and recognition later on."
Great.
So he, a guy that was conducting tests back in those days, and you needed to learn Morse code at 5 words per minute, and there was a pretty easy test to take. Like there was 20 questions or so, and I didn't have any problem passing that. And I passed the Morse code test and proceeded to get what was called a novice license back in those days, which gave you the cable bands. So then I proceeded to get some equipment, which was maybe grand total of a couple $100 back in those days. Simple tube type receiver and transmitter.
What kind of receiver was it?
Pardon?
What was the receiver? Just curious.
The receiver was a Hallicrafters S53A.
Okay.
And the transmitter was a Heathkit, a DX40 transmitter.
Okay.
And so it was a pretty simple rudimentary setup. And the receiver was, the band spread on the receiver was maybe a half an inch wide. So you had to go in there and pick your stations out from just a great deal of noise. And I purchased what's called a Q multiplier back then, and added that, and that gave me a little bit of selectivity, so I was able to copy code stations, and yeah, I got rolling from there.
Wow.
So the mid-'60s, you've been licensed for a long time. That's amazing. And so it's your lifelong hobby, I guess, right?
Yeah, it has been a lifelong hobby. I've been on and off. I've been off the air for a couple of years now, and just getting back on. I moved from Wyoming to here, and so in the process of putting my station back together, and we're going to get an antenna up here pretty soon, and so I'll be back on the air.
Awesome.
Yeah, about your antenna, and I've been involved with you a little bit with the installation. You did something really interesting. You live in a pretty large house, and but it's also I guess you don't want a lot of visibility with your antenna system. I'm thinking everybody should have a 100-foot tower, personally, including me, of course, But that's not really realistic in every neighborhood in the world. And but I'm from Texas, and we had lots of, homes that they were on an acre. You know what I mean? A lot of space in Texas. But here in metropolitan Las Vegas, this is a city. It's a little bit different here. And where I live, we have neighbors all around me, so in close proximity, and so you have to consider all that when you plan for an antenna. And I really like your installation. You have a ground-mounted rotator, or at the base of the mast, and you installed, I helped you install a couple of chimney supports, if you will, and so your mast is supported on the bottom with the rotator and the mechanism you have with the mast, and so it turns the entire mast, and that's how you get the thing installed. It's just beautiful, very simple, and I personally prefer ground-mounted rotators on mast myself personally, and you got any questions for this young man?
No. What kind of antenna is it? How about that?
Well, I happen to know a little bit about his antenna.
Maybe Gary
because
should
tomorrow
answer.
morning,
Yeah.
the Las Vegas DX Foundation, we're going to show up as a club, a couple of us guys, and they're available, and we're going to install that hex beam. Gary, you've worked for like a week on, or about a week, or maybe a little bit more on preparing the hex beam for the installation, right?
Yeah, it was purchased from a guy in Indiana. It's called an NA4RR hex beam, and it wasn't all that bad to put together. All the wires are pre-measured, and the cords and everything, and so it took a couple of days to get it together, but it's tested out SWR wise, seems to be pretty reasonable, and I can hardly wait to get it up in the air and get back to working stations.
Well, tomorrow's the day, so I'm excited for you, and I'll be there at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, and I'll bring a tall ladder. The last ladder I brought was a little bit too short, so I had to, move the ladder on the different sections of the house to get up to the very top of the roof.
Wait a minute, Sharon had to move the ladder.
Right, so it's so we're going to have a ladder that's long enough this time, and thanks to Fred K5LX, who let us use it for tomorrow, and it's 28-foot, perfect size, and
Perfect.
we'll get that done real nice and fast. And the thing I really like about the hex beam is they're very lightweight, and you get a lot for for that 25 pounds comes a lot of stuff. I mean, how many bands do you have on your hex beam?
Well, it's got the full spread of 20, 17, 15, 12, 10, and 6. So, yeah, it's got all the bands available in that range. So, and it's about 27 pounds, and then I've got a Bowen kit attached to it, and also the transmission line. So, you got to lift that up too, and it feels a lot heavier than 35 pounds or so, but it's awkward, and yeah, it's tough for one person to balance and handle.
And hex beam looks like an upside down umbrella. It's not a new antenna, but I guess it was really perfected by is it G3 TXQ, I think it was, the gentleman over in England. I guess there was a form of hex beam before, and he made the broadband hex beam. And so really, the guy just passed away recently, and him and I were friends online, and I was sad to, my condolences to his family, but he was a genius, in my personal opinion. And if you ever go to his website, I think it's Kyrena.net or something. No, I can get the. Have you been to his website by chance, or you know what I'm talking about, right?
Say again, the audio's just a little weak here.
Hey, Aaron, is my audio down? Okay. Yeah, the call sign was G3TXB, was his call sign. The guy that is famous, if you will, for creating the broadband hex beam. That's the guy who actually designed it to be the way it is now. The way it was designed before, it was like a W. Both the driven element and the reflector were W's. And when he changed the form of the reflector, it created all kind of bandwidth, and it really improved the antenna a lot. So it was a lot more balanced as well. The reason I know about that is because I built a few hex beams, and I devoured his website. It's an amazing website, and if something were to happen to your hex beam, and you couldn't access the parts, you could literally go on his website and get the exact dimensions that work for every hex beam. And that's what I did because I rebuilt mine a few times and even modified it for 40 meters. He has all that for 40 meters as well. And so it's a wealth of information there you find. And oh, by the way, let you guys know, please feel free to call in and ask any questions to our guests or about the hobby of amateur radio, ham radio. The phone numbers are 702-329-6947 or 855-502-4321. I'm going to repeat that one time, okay? So 702-329-6947 or 855-502-4321. And when it picks up, just press number one, and you'll come right to the studio if you want to ask a question. It'd be nice if you did. So tomorrow I'm really excited about I mean, you've been off the air for a little bit, so you get back on the air again. So that's for us ham radio operators, for me anyway, throughout my life. I've been licensed 45 years. How long have you been licensed, sir?
Well, since mid-60s, so that's
So how many
that's
years is that? So 35 plus
45, 50 years. It's been a while.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's amazing.
Wow.
Well, for me, I was off the air for about close to 10 years. And so when I got back on the air, it was like magic. Yeah, I mean, I never lost the passion for ham radio all the time. I was just traveling in my work. I was just so transient. I mean, I was transient to a lot of cool places. Don't get me wrong, all through the Caribbean, the Pacific, and points in between. It was a lot of fun. But I wish I'd had radio back in those days. But you really can't live in hotels and do radio that well. So anyway, that was my excuse. So you landed. You're going to get back on the air, and it's going to be an amazing experience for you. I just know it is, and I'm really happy for you. I'm glad to be a part of it as well. I mean, it's a little small part. You had to do all the rest of it. And so thank you very much. And let's see, anything else you want to ask this man right here?
No, I think you covered it.
Okay. Do we have anybody else coming on, Aaron?
We have Bad Grandpa.
Bad grandpa.
Bring on Bad Grandpa.
You want to bring on Bad Grandpa? All right.
Ready, man.
All right.
Well, Gary, hang out for a while.
Yeah, just hang out. We got, this is Kirk, N07BS, and the guy is an electronic genius as well, and he's pretty amazing, and he may have some questions for you or some input as well. Hey, how you doing, Kurt?
I'm doing good. Hey, Gary, I want to take you down memory lane here for a second. You with me, Gary?
Yeah, he's there.
All right. Gary, what have we got right here? What have we got right there?
That is the exact receiver that I had. That definitely looks good. I'd like to have that one back again, just for memory.
That's cool.
I had to put this on in your honor.
Yay.
How you like that, huh?
That's a fully restored S53. That's one of my pride and joys.
Oh, wow. It looks great. And I remember, I can recognize a lot of the other stuff there, too, like the Hammerlands and the Heathkits. And I had the SB 100 and 101, a HW 100. Never had any Collins gear, but had the Helicrafters. And, there's a lot of great stuff you've got there.
Wow.
Yeah.
In fact, I just got a donation, just came in, because we run not only a museum, but a rescue for homeless radios.
Oh.
We'll get,
He liberates them.
here for you. Oh, there we go.
Uh-oh.
How's Afro?
What is?
That
What we got?
one looks familiar, too. Is that a...
It's a little too dark, Kurt. A little too dark still.
Echo, turn on bench 4.
Wow. That's impressive. Wow.
That's he has
Wow.
a robot living there with him.
Well, just say
Just
magic.
don't fall in love with her, okay?
It's just magic. We'll just go with that.
It's there we go. Anyway,
Oh, yeah, SB 401.
a 401 and a 301 came in.
Nice.
Wow.
They
Wow.
were going to Goodwill.
Oh,
Oh
my God, are
my.
you serious?
Yeah,
Oh.
serious.
I've never found anything in Goodwill that awesome. I gotta be honest with you.
I was pretty impressed with my Mode C charger we found.
Well, I did a lot of Drake gear here too, and I still have a lot of stuff sitting around here. R4, R4 and T4X, and
Nice.
I did a lot of operating with the Drake.
I only have one Drake out in the project trailer. It's a TR4C, I think it is.
Yeah, that's a good radio.
That's
I've
a
got one of those.
that's a 300 watt radio, right? Is it 300 watts, right? The TR4. I know
Yeah.
it does. I know it does more power than a regular radio does.
Yeah, it might be 300. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And Kurt will get a radio. Sometimes they're delivered in literally there. It's a bag of broken parts. I mean, it's amazing what he can do in restoring radios. And if you take a look at, if you get a chance to go and see his stuff in real life, he's a great guy, got a great house. He's a wonderful host, and he'll show you stuff. You'll think it's brand new. I mean, I don't really know his secrets because he has told me how he does it, his secrets of how he could get these radios looking so wonderful like that, but they look like they were fresh out of Heathkit, from back in those days. I also had a Heathkit. I had a DX20 as my first transmitter, and I had an HQ170 Hamberlin receiver. And the receiver was borrowed. I had to give it back to my Elmer after I got my General. And I wanted to keep it forever. She said, no, I got to have my radio back. And but back in those days, your Elmer would give you stuff. I mean, they would let you use their equipment or whatever. They wanted you to get on the air. And that's kind of the way we feel here, too. We want to promote ham radio and keep the hobby alive. And, people may not want to spend $4,000 for a station day one,
What?
but I would, but I know what I'm looking at, and somebody, maybe a brand new person who never did radio before in their entire lives, might want to walk a little lightly like that, see if they even like the hobby, and people like that will loan them stuff and let them see how they like it or not.
Cliff, what kind of radio do you have?
My radio's I bought a newer one. I bought one day Kirk will have my radio. He'll be restoring it, but it's a Yaesu FDX 101 D version. It's amazing, an amazing radio. It really is. I go for receivers. Almost every radio transmits pretty good, but receiving is what's the most important thing for me, to be able to hear something, a weak signal. You know what I mean? And I do almost every mode on HF. I'm pretty much an HF amateur radio operator my whole career. So as a DXer, and so you in CW you've got to really hear those weak signals especially, and the same thing with sideband, of course. If they're in India and you're trying to talk to them on sideband, you might need to have a good receiver, and so that's my transceiver, yeah. That's the short version of my answer to.
That's the radio right there.
That's the radio right there, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
And they have it set up there as a two-dimensional waterfall, and but if you activate the three-dimensional waterfall, then those blue lines you're looking at there, portion of the display,
Right.
it becomes a moving. So now it's in 2D, it becomes 3D, so it moves backwards. The signals will, or
Wow.
or if it picks up, and so and it's got a lot of filtering that I can use, digital filtering, which really does well. It's stacked up against mechanical filters or crystal filters. Like in the old days, to get a good or narrow bandwidths, we had to use filters that were set, and they were separate from the radio. You just install them, whatever. But this thing uses digitation for that, and it does it real well, a very good job. As I remember, the first digital radios came out, that the quality when you activated a filter was terrible. Well, they've resolved that issue. It's really wonderful now to use those options.
And then the antenna you use for that is what?
Yeah, the antenna I have for my house is it's a homemade 4-element 5-band cubicle quad, it's so 20 through 10 meters, and I wanted a 30-foot boom. Okay, so it came with a 24-foot boom. That's all the aluminum I had, right?
Oh, what does Kirk have there?
Oh, what's that?
What's Kirk got?
That's
you
what
got,
you
Kurt?
wanted in your
Oh,
receiver.
we have a phone call, guys.
That's the Collins
Oh.
Mechanical, right?
We got a phone.
We have a
Yeah.
phone call.
Yeah, it is. That's the one, right? That's the daddy of them all, right there.
There
if
we
you
go.
Okay, good.
Who's on the phone?
Carl
Hey,
Fred,
Fred.
how you doing, man?
Hey, I was watching this going, I want to know, when you going to come get that ladder tomorrow morning?
Well, I'm glad you asked. If you want us to stop by this evening on the way home
No.
and get that 28-foot ladder,
No.
he sleeps in late. Yeah, I got to get it however I can get it.
No.
Okay. I can come over at midnight tonight. Okay, is that all right with you?
Yeah, midnight's fine.
Because she'll be asleep already.
Hey,
Okay?
I'm good then.
Can I come by in the morning? Is it okay? Is it? I need to be over at Gary's house about 8 o'clock, so I need to be there about 20 minutes prior. Is that too early for you? If it's too early, I'll come by tonight.
So what are we looking at, 7:30?
Yes.
Okay, that's fine, no problem. I'll let it pull out. We can just bring it around the side of the house and go to your car. This thing's pretty big now, Cliff. Will it go on me, you think?
Oh yeah, we'll definitely go on my vehicle. Don't worry.
We'll use extra rope.
Don't worry. I can tie anything, man. I used to work offshore. I can tie something real well. So.
When we got the kayaks home, we should go get a ladder across town. But I'll be at work, so that's on you guys.
Yeah. Don't worry. The ladder won't come off. Don't worry about that. But
Oops.
thank you for allowing us to borrow that ladder, because without that, it's dangerous without that ladder. You have to. It's a two-phase event to get up on the roof. Otherwise, you have
It's
to
scary.
you got to put the ladder on the lower part of the house, and then pull the ladder up and transfer it over from the bottom part to the top, and then that's at an angle. It's really dangerous. So I'm glad that we have your ladder to save the day. So thank you very much for getting out. I know you're getting out of bed early, Fred. I know you are. So thanks for that sacrifice as well. we could
You gotta remember that.
we could be asking you to do something at 6 o'clock in the morning, and you have to get out of bed and drive somewhere. But I'm not asking you to do that. So thank you very much for allowing us to come by and pick that up.
Okay, that'll be fine, no problem.
Alright.
Y'all have a good one. We'll
Hey.
see you later, unless you have something else for me to ask or,
Well,
I need to-
Any questions
always,
for Gary?
Fred is another one that just. How long have you been licensed, Fred?
59 and a half years.
There we go. So he's another guy that knows a lot about ham radio and in every imaginable part of ham radio, from building antennas, of course, and the mobile aspect of ham radio, which is a lot of fun. And he's an expert on that stuff. So Gary's an expert on DXing. This guy over here on the right of my screen,
That'd be bad grandpa.
that'd be bad grandpa, aka Kurt, is an absolute electronic component level technician. And
We were trying to direct traffic there. You need the aviation flashlights.
I do. And so
Circling
So,
the hold.
Fred, I guess there's nothing else. Your address is goodandqrz.com, right?
Yes, sir, it is.
Okay, so I'll look that up and I'll GPS that in, and I'll be over there about 7:30. Do you have any questions for anybody?
No, I don't guess so. If I'd known I was going to be, going to have to ask questions or answer questions, I would have, but I guess I'm unprepared.
Uh-oh.
There you are. You've helped us out, so thank you very much. I appreciate your contribution, and have a great night. I'll talk to you.
Just good seeing everybody at lunch today.
Okay, yeah, exactly. It was, yeah. So have a great night. Talk to you later. Talk to you in the morning.
Okay. Bye-bye now.
All right,
Bye,
bye.
Fred. So that was Fred.
That was. I was going to call him after the show. I promise. I would do that probably. Okay, but I'm more likely to call him in the morning. He'd really be wonderful then, wouldn't he? Because he said, I'm retired. I don't really get up early. I said, don't everybody who's at least 60 let they get out of bed like early in the morning. Is that what happens? Because I do. And he goes. I go, what? No, I guess when you get retired, you sleep in. I don't know. But I'm thinking as I get older, I get up earlier. It seems like to me, but maybe it's.
That's just you.
How about
That's just,
that's a decision for a different day.
yeah.
Hey, we're talking about your antenna, your homebrew antenna.
Okay, sure. I got the. There should be photographs of it somewhere. You got some, yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. So I wanted a 30-foot boom for the quad. So because I know only for 20 meters. I mean, you have to get enough boom length
There you go.
to make this thing. To make the 20 meter have enough gain, the appropriate spacing would be 30 feet.
And everything on this was homebrew.
Everything, yeah, sure is. Every single measurement, everything.
Several
And,
times.
What do you mean? What do you mean several times? Is there a story to this?
There's
there a
actually,
story?
yeah, there's a lot of stories to this. Okay, but the general story on this is that have been building quads since I was 18 years old, and so around 1980, and I've been I've always loved cubical quads. And they're called cubical quads. Because the element's more like a diamond shaped in that particular photograph there. That was my actually that's
Uh-oh. Who's that?
I had hired this guy to work around antennas. I don't know where he came from. I haven't seen him since, but That's me. That's me on the. I was actually standing on a board. I had to develop a way to get inside this thing so I could fix the spreaders. The quad dropped. We were trying to pick the quad up. That's how big it is there. Yeah, I was trying to get that thing on that tower, and with all the help that we had, and as we were pulling it up with the winch. I just installed a winch, and I thought, let's just use the winch to pick the quad up. Probably should have pulled it up by hand, because when the winch got hung up, when the quad got hung up, as we were bringing it up, I didn't catch it in time. We had spotters everywhere. We just didn't quite catch that particular problem, and so the eye bolt pulled out, and we dropped that antenna. It landed about where it is right now, and so it broke off the bottom spreaders. It just broke them, a few of them, and
Geez, after all that work.
after almost 3 months of build. That's the previous quad that I had. That's the diamond configuration. And nevertheless, we got it up on the quad on the tower anyway, and I rebuilt the spreaders from I spliced the spreaders, the bottom spreaders, and got it back going again. I was amazed that I could get it done that fast. I thought, when I first saw it hit the ground, like, well, there we go. The quad's dead. The quad's dead, Joe.
No.
We have a dead quad now. So
The quad never
But
died.
all the guys that were there, like, no, just put it on the tower and fix the spreaders. Because I sit down and go, something, you guys just go home. I'm going to clean up the mess, all right, like I did before.
I have to say, you never give up. Because, no, really. I mean, you've had a really bad incident, did you not? And like I did, we have a lot of wind here in Vegas.
Yeah, we do.
And I almost gave up, but thank God for the group here, the
Yeah.
Las Vegas DX Foundation. They came together, both for you and for me.
Yeah, no doubt.
And we fixed each other's antennas, and everybody's happy again. And I almost left the hobby, but thanks to you
Can't
guys,
do
I
that.
didn't.
Yeah, I remember that because we put up Aaron's. He's got a beautiful antenna. He's got the KT34. Okay.
Right.
Everybody knows what watch this. Do you know what a KT34 is? Or a KT36?
Can Gary hear you?
I think we're stuck.
No, Gary, you're not there.
Hey Gary, can you hear?
Oh, yeah, audio is pretty weak, but try it again.
Do you know what a KT34 is?
KLM, yeah.
Yes,
It's,
of course you know.
big
Right?
antenna, yeah.
Yeah, so all DXers know what that antenna is, because that's been around for a long time. They're very expensive, and they if you had one, you had a good antenna. So we had one donated, and Aaron had nothing on the air, so Aaron got the antenna. So we put the antenna up on his tower, and he's got a roof-mounted tower. It's really amazing installation he has over here at his house. It's a studio, and so we put the antenna up, and I was a little dubious about the tower. It was a little bit loose, when I climbed the tower to put the antenna up there. It would move around like this. He goes, "Don't worry, it's been through a hurricane in Texas. It's fine. It's never going to fall over." We had all that stuff on top of it, right? That's the KLM 34 right there, and that's a big antenna. That's a 3-inch boom and the elements, and he had some more repeater stuff above that. Well, guess what? It was the same type of wind that actually took out one of my towers last year, and with my previous quad on it. So Las Vegas gets these crazy I call them rogue winds, and they're like a rogue wave in the ocean. They come out of nowhere. It'll be the first one they'll get you to, and it's probably being followed by like an active storm system of some sort. In the monsoon season, especially, these winds will come out of nowhere. Anybody who's coming to the valley should be aware of that. That's the quad in the tower that I had before last year. Actually, that one of those rogue winds hit that tower and took it down.
Oh,
She was
destroyed
home. I
it.
was at work, and she called me and said, "There's something going on with the quad. I don't know what it is. The wind's really blowing bad here." It was perfectly beautiful sky when we left either for work, like an hour earlier. And I considered taking the quad, collapsing it was a telescoping tower.
Always go with
And
your
I thought,
gut.
that looks fun out
Right.
here. Everything's fine. It's sun's out. The sun's out. There's no breeze, nothing. An hour later, a hail happened, and it blew the tower over. It didn't blow the tower over. It broke the tower at the top section. Broke. One of the legs broke, and it just fell over like that. And that's
Yeah.
the way it landed. The previous picture you had, Aaron,
Yeah.
the one where it's
Just
hanging
rolled
over
it
like this,
over in the driveway.
it literally fell over and hung 10 feet off the ground. And it was so dangerous, I just had to cut the tower down, and it destroyed the entire antenna. Yeah, that's how it folded over in the top
Well,
section there.
there's a quote from a movie from a fellow ham, Tim Allen in Galaxy Quest. Never
Yeah.
give up, never say die.
Right.
I like that.
There you go.
So that was a dual band quad for 20 and 17. That thing worked really well, and so I hate to see it fall. But you know something, I used 100% of all those broken pieces to build that quad that I have now. Same thing I did with when it fell, trying to install it the second time.
And nobody gave up. We all.
Nobody gave up.
Oh, what you gave up?
How tall was it?
That one was at 50. That was at right
Right around
53 maybe.
50, Yeah.
And
53?
Yeah, and the one I have, so you've noticed the tower, it doesn't have any trusses, angled trusses on there. It's an older style tower. I'm not sure if it's U.S. tower. I think it's not Tri-X or whoever made that tower. It's an
Somebody
older tower.
just hit the jackpot.
Oh, I can say.
But the one I have now is a U.S. tower HDX 555 or 555, and it's ready for a lot of wind loading. I have guy wires as well, and four guy wires on the top section, and I trust it. You know, it's been through quite a bit since I put it up with that quad. The quad I have now is same size, but it probably weighs a little bit more. It's got more elements on there, and it's got a lot more glue on it. You know, from having to put it all back together, splices or whatever.
Glue, black tape, whatever.
Yeah. So I've been through a lot here in Vegas trying to keep an antenna up that doesn't blow over. So be ready for the wind when the wind comes. It's gonna be significant when it comes. You'll be going, oh my God. And but you have 27 pounds. You said your antenna weighs, and I saw your installation is solid as a rock. I think your chimney would have to blow over before your hex would blow over. So
That's
that's
What
not
you
gonna
got
happen.
now is a motorized crank-up tower, correct?
Yes, it is. Yeah. Mhm.
yeah. That winch is a god saver.
Well, we went down to Harbor Freight, and you can listen. You can go down and pay. You can go to U.S. Towers and buy one for $3,000, and it's their stuff, and it'll work fine. I mean, or you can go to Harbor Freight and buy the 5,000 pound rated winch, which I did, a DC winch, and so I have a battery at the base of the tower, and I have a solar powered panel, a real small panel. I
Again,
got
from Harbor Freight.
and it charges the battery. So I have basically a solar powered tower motor.
Excellent setup.
Yeah. Anyway, it's been up now for a while, and it wouldn't have happened if it hadn't been for the fellows in my the DX Foundation.
Right.
There's no way I could have putting that thing back together like I did without help the second time.
Well, look at Kirk. I mean,
Yeah.
Kirk has also been essential, especially
God.
with getting the hams up and running with older radios
Yep.
that have never been on HF, and they come across a radio and they don't know how it works or something's wrong with it. They take it to Kirk. Kirk's more than happy to look at it, and for whatever genius reason, he fixes it. And this is stuff that you think you throw away,
A rehab master.
right?
Kurt has that spirit of the ham radio spirit of helping other people. He really does. And you see all those radios there. None of those radios are for sale. Just so you know that.
That's the
Those are his
lab.
collection. He fixes it. What he does, he restores Americana, basically ham radio Americana, which is ham radio where it originated at pretty much. And those are pieces of artwork, if you will. It's lost artwork. If nobody rescues a radio, that's going to be a piece of history that disappears forever. Go ahead.
This is my test bench.
Oh wow.
Oh wow! Look at that.
That's
And we really appreciate all you do for us, Kurt.
yeah.
Yeah, I try to help everybody out. It's almost anything can be fixed, and I've got so much stuff raffled away that usually we come out a winner.
It's just amazing what you can do with all that stuff.
I mean, he's one of the guys. It's rare to find them nowadays, but it used to be. A lot of hams were technicians, but as time is, because I was gone for a minute, I come back and where'd everybody go? And he's a component level a technician. That's not a simple word, but you have no idea the depth of knowledge it takes to understand how electricity wraps around a board or a radio case, and you speak into this thing, and out comes energy that goes all the way around the planet, or maybe to a satellite, or maybe to the moon and back. I mean, that's pretty amazing technology in its own right, no matter how you get there.
No, I like working on the stuff and helping people out. I'm trying to Elmer everybody I can.
There you go.
It's there's hardly any of us around anymore that are willing to teach this.
That's right. Yeah.
Well, that's
you,
what the foundation's
yeah,
for.
and you have that spirit, and we really appreciate that. And and also you need a good amp guy. You know what I mean? Every club needs an amp guy. Not that we don't love you for who you are, but just kidding. But, yeah, every club needs an amp guy. Okay. And he's a really good amp guy. I mean, he really is. Matter of fact, I'm curious about something. You've got a new amp as well, right, Kurt? You've got you got a very special. You got a special amplifier.
Uh-oh, where's he going?
He's not going to pick it up. Don't worry. Weighs
We
1,000
got
pounds.
Grandpa's
Little too
on the
heavy?
run.
He's probably got. Oh, here we go.
There we go. Here we
He
go.
just acquired this beautiful piece of equipment. Where he gets this stuff, I have no idea. Probably Andrew. Where's Andrew at? Look at that thing.
Andrew can't make it. He's talking to his relatives in Australia.
He had to
here?
build
He
it.
is.
Oh, no kidding.
Well, Andrew's here. Oh my God.
Andrew's going to have to give me a second to get him online. here.
So tell us about that beautiful piece of equipment I'm looking at right now.
Well,
So right.
which piece is the amp?
Well, it's got the two. Go ahead, Kurt.
This guy right here.
Oh,
It's a Henry 2006A. A lot of people don't know they exist, but it uses one 3CX800A7. It's a ceramic and metal tube, broadcast type tube, and puts out very close to a kilowatt on 6.
Oh, 6 meters. That's VHF.
Yeah.
So the company called Henry, which is they were probably one of the best, if not the best, most famous amplifier manufacturers from back in the 70s, right? I guess What's the history of Henry? Do you know?
Well, Henry Radio goes back to the days when they were on Olympic Boulevard in Los Angeles. I grew up around there, and thanks to Andrew, he talked to a buddy of his, John, who owns Island. I think it's Island Amplifiers.
That's
Island
it.
This guy's top.
Hey, Andrew, how you doing, man? Welcome to the show, man.
Yeah, he's just a guru, and Andrew was talking to him. Says John mentioned something about a 6-meter amp. He goes, and Andrew says, "I know a guy who's got to have it," and now I got it.
cool.
But that goes along with
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
More
We're on the
stuff,
move again.
I'm getting scared now. Wait a minute.
right?
Oh, here we go.
The
We're
beast.
walking. We're
the
walking.
beast.
The
The
Henry.
beast.
The beast.
The
Yeah,
beast.
that. Andrew turned me onto this one also. So that came out of Andrew's private collection.
Yeah,
I went through and did a real nice refurb on it. And
Andrew's the guy that's got connections, okay, in our
Right?
club.
Yeah,
you got to have
he
that guy,
does.
too. You got to have the connection
Fine
guy.
stuff.
And this thing's a daily driver. In fact, it's sitting there idling right now.
Which one? The
And
one
it's
with
a
the two
daily
black
driver.
knobs?
I love this machine. I'll never sell it.
It would be the big one there on the desk.
The top?
Yeah, on the very top, yeah.
Oh, okay.
See the meters are almost identical on that one as
There
they
we
are on
go.
the one
Oh, okay.
down at the corner.
So you got the complete novice
And
right
they had
there.
they had that typical color of a Henry, and so they were very robust, very heavy, and they had amplifiers that would do. I mean, they started at 1,000 watts, right?
Yeah, 1,000 watts was the entry level.
Right.
Wow.
Has that got a built-in power supply?
Yeah.
No,
No,
it does
that
not.
doesn't?
Wow.
The power supply lives down there.
On a
That I did
on
not
a, on
know.
a concrete slab.
That's the power supply for the Henry.
The big box?
Yeah.
And,
Two separate parts,
and
yeah.
then further over here is the power supply for the Collins.
Oh,
There you have it. Yeah.
you're not
My
doing
finger's
POTA
not
with
going where I
that.
want it to go.
You're not
That's
doing
the
part
power
of that.
supply for the Collins.
I
It's
thought
nice
the
and light, isn't it, Kirk?
It-
I thought the desktop Henry was a 110 watt. No,
Pounds?
no watt. That
No,
is
no,
that is
no.
220.
what's that?
It is 220.
Yeah, it's on 240. Yeah.
I bet Henry didn't have an amp that went on 110 ever or 120. I'm just guessing, but I know they just
Yeah.
built big stuff. I mean, they were back in the day, things were big, and they would use separate power supplies for their amplifiers, and a lot of their amps are the roller. They had their own wheels. They roll around. They're single pieces, but they're cabinets mounted. Control unit, if you will, and the power supplies in the bottom. That's one of the ones I want.
That amplifier was also available in a floor mount, where the amplifier sat on an angle on top of the power supply. This one just happens to be a desk mount. So there's a large umbilical cord to run all the signals back and forth between the power supply and the DAC. One of those wires is carrying 3,200 volts on it.
Oh,
Nice.
so you don't want to lick that
Yeah.
one.
So amplifiers are probably one of our most dangerous pieces of equipment if you don't appreciate them for what they can do and what they will do if you make a mistake, right?
There are no mistakes.
Right. There you go. Thank you.
Well, not that you
There
survive.
better not be any mistakes. You better not burn up my amplifier.
Yeah,
Just touch it with some metal.
yeah.
You got to poke the parts on the inside. What I heard. I don't know.
So, Kurt, what is your main radio that you use there, and what antenna?
What's that, Aaron?
What's the main radio that you use, and what type of antenna?
I usually excite this thing with a 7300, but all these radios are switchable. There's antenna switches on each bank, and I can cascade banks, and then I switch the input to the Henry. So if I want to put the 7300 on the 756 or the SB401, SB104, or the Collins, I can switch the inputs to them. I build interfaces for all of them to trip the Henry. The Henry amplifier only takes about 4 or 5 mils at 12 volts now to pull its relays in.
Nice.
Wow. Hey, Gary, you remember the Heathkit SB104? Do you remember that
I
set
had
of?
SB 101.
I actually had my Elmer loaned me a HW 100. And later he got the 101, but I got to use the 100 for a while. Hey, the 104 is amazing. Do you mind, Kurt, just showing us the? Do you have it set up yet? Is it not set up?
I'm remodeling everything.
He's got the entire collection of every single piece of the SB series.
Yeah, it's not back online yet, but there it is. I have every piece except the SB230 amplifier.
So that was the first radio they used digital displays, right?
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
Oh.
and they're gas discharge tubes. They're actually Sperry Rand
Wow.
flat. It's like a flat version of a Nixie.
Okay, so
So,
that means
Kirk, you're telling me I need to find an SB230 next for you?
yeah.
Yeah, SB230 amplifier is not bad.
Okay.
I see them pop up here once in a while, but they just won't weigh too much money.
Leave it to me.
Our agent abroad. Yeah.
I will sniff it out.
Yeah, but I have the station console, I have the phone patch, and by the way, with these old rigs, I've been dinking around with them, and I found that the phone patch is absolutely excellent for interfacing these old radios to FT8.
Do you want to explain
Really
to
now?
people what a phone patch is? Some
Please.
people
Yeah.
might not know.
Yeah, it has a phone patch has a hybrid coil in it for transmit receive audio, and it isolates the transmit and receive so you don't create an echo to the person on the phone.
If you don't understand what that means, folks, that's a genius talking right now. And that's genius talk. Don't worry,
Dumb it
he
down,
knows what he's
dumb
talking
it
about.
down.
Okay, go ahead, Eric. Go ahead, continue on, sir.
Yeah. Basically, what you would do is you would take the audio from the phone, put it on the air, and the audio from the air and put it on the phone. But I tried playing with the phone patch because these consoles have them built in, and running FT8 through them. And since FT8 is an audible tone and it's well within the voice passband.
Does anybody know that? Does anybody know that? I'm sure. I've never heard that before in my
Yeah.
life. How'd you find that out? How'd you figure that out?
I just broke out my scope and played with it. And
That's
sure enough,
crazy.
it
You may be
worked.
the only person that does that in the world. You know that, right?
Because we all
Probably
have
are.
scopes.
Thank you for inventing something like that.
Yeah, but it breathes new life into some of these old rigs. These guys go, well, I can't do FT8, I can't do this, I can't do that. And I go, sure you can. Absolutely you can. So you can take one of these old tube monsters or one of these early solid state rigs and do FT8 and FT4 and PSK and the rest of the stuff.
That's amazing information
Don't do
because
it.
I was thinking that you had to have a modern rig from the last, say, 5 or 10 years to even consider running FT8. And I guess they don't integrate that well with older rigs, and now you've solved that problem with that series of radio anyway.
As long as it doesn't drift around too much, it'll be just fine.
You didn't have to modify it; it just did it that way.
Yeah, you just use the circuits for the phone patch, and most of these do have circuits for phone patching, because that was the big deal, was to pass traffic, over ham radio. So you just utilize the phone patch circuits to
Right.
run the FT8.
So back in the day when you push a phone number, each number had a tone that was associated with the number, right?
Well, no. Actually, what would happen with the phone patch is you would call the person ahead of time and tell them you're going to put them on the air, and they say okay, and you ask them just say over when you're done talking, and then you throw the switch, and when they would start talking, you'd key the transmitter, and then when they say over, you'd unkey it. The audio from the receiver would go back down the phone line. So it was called passing traffic. We did it a lot in the early days.
Yeah, I've done it myself. Gary, have you ever had a phone patch? Did you ever use a phone patch or connect someone to your radio system by chance, or receive a phone call from phone patch?
No, I never utilized the phone patch, so I'm not familiar with. I don't think very few repeaters have that
Anymore, yeah.
auto patch capability anymore.
No, they don't. Andrew, how about you? Have you ever had the opportunity to run a phone patch by chance?
Well, I have, but years ago, probably back in the late 70s, when I was on another band.
The
The
Pirates
mystery
Return?
band.
The mystery
Listen,
band.
we love our CBers, man.
Hang on.
Oh, yeah.
I'm giving you a synopsis.
Okay, go for it.
We basically, I used to speak to an operator in Hawaii all the time, and my auntie, my father's sister, ended up marrying an American soldier after World War II, and she was in Hawaii, Honolulu. He managed to track her down. I gave her information. He found her in the phone book, and we did a phone patch. I spoke to my auntie.
Oh,
On
how cool.
27685 or something or other, and that was
Hey, wait a minute,
fascinating.
that's out of the band. Just kidding.
Maybe not that bad.
just listening. Anyway, it was fabulous. It worked really, really well. It blew me away. I thought was amazing, and she was
Wow.
blown away. She couldn't figure out how it was like magic. You know,
It
she was
is
like
magic.
in her 50s or 60s at the time. It was quite amazing.
Wow.
That's an amazing story. That's a nice reconnect story, from a love of for a different time or whatever.
Good things came out of the free band.
Always. I mean, we got a lot of probably most of our members in our club. Only a few people in our club didn't come here from CB. The first getting introduced to CB. I mean, back when I was involved in ham radio in the beginning, CB was a big deal. I mean, it was huge.
Huge.
The reason I wasn't a CBer was because my Elmer, who lived a block away from me, had this gigantic 2-element 40-meter beam that towered over the entire neighborhood, and I was so intrigued. Being precocious, I went and asked the guy, "What are you doing with this big thing? What does it do?" I had that happen to me in my house all the time. So he took me in there and showed me what he had a room set up about like Kirk's, because he was a technician as well, and so that's how I got started as well. So anyway,
You
I've
went
got
straight to the Ferrari. You didn't go to the little two-stroke.
right, yeah.
That's
So
what's in my Jeep is the two-stroke, apparently.
Two-stroke, yeah.
Or the Prius, one of the two.
I remember back in Texas in 1995 it was, yeah. I'd taken a break from radio like we all do probably through our lives. The guys have been licensed for a long time. We have lives and children and professions and things of that nature, and we come and go in ham radio. So it's been my lifelong hobby as well. Anyway, I was contacted by a guy in the Mosquito Coast down in Honduras about he contacted me because his church happened to be in Kerrville, Texas, where I live. And it was Del. The church was named Del Way's Church. Anybody from Kerrville knows who Del Way is, and he was a missionary, and he had a radio. So he charged his batteries with solar, and so he had no electricity at all. He lived in this village with no electricity. They were so remote that nothing was brought in there at all. These are the Mosquito Indians, or what they were called, and he lived with these people for like a year or two, and I was his only contact. Back then there was no cell phones and no email, so he depended on me to be there every Sunday. I think it was like 1 o'clock, and I would point my quad. I had a 2-element quad then down there toward that area, and I'd connect him to his wife or the church every single Sunday.
Oh, that's cool.
Until the conditions changed, and I
Wow.
lost contact with him. I did it for about 6 months, and it was really. So I bought a phone patch just so I could get this guy, connected to his give him something, if he needed something from his. I mean, he conducted. It was like just like Kirk said. I would switch the transmit and receive, and so I had to be present. So I heard everything they said, and it was just an amazing thing to do for someone who needed it that bad.
Well, that's
That's what ham radio was back in those days.
It still
Very
is
cool.
to a point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
That's it, connecting people. That's what ham radio does.
that's what ham radio does. You're right
That
about
was
that.
the Facebook of the future.
There you go.
There's no telling the evolution of ham radio. Where it's going to go. I've only been a
And what
part
about
of it.
and what about today, Cliff? We had new people come and joined our lunch today who are members from out of town. They came and joined us.
Yeah, they did, and it was nice. We had
That
three
was
people,
cool.
and we had 3 people come on show up today. They actually had emailed me or call or text me, but we were going to have one as a guest today. The gentleman who I guess we lost your information. I couldn't find it before the show started when I got here, and we'll get you on next week. I'll find your information. I'll connect to you. So don't worry. If you're watching the show and you're wondering why you get the email, I'll drop the ball. Okay. I'm
Wasn't intentional.
I'm the head of that department now. After they didn't fire me, it's maybe the put me in charge of that department. So now I have to do it. So that won't happen again. But we'll get him on next week. And thanks for being patient about that. Just enjoy Las Vegas. Don't worry about how we dropped the ball on this end. We'll always
Exactly.
we'll always admit our mistakes and do better next time.
We're
so.
all volunteering our time, remember?
Yes.
Yeah. What do you mean? I don't get paid for this? What do you mean? That's why I got a paycheck next week.
Pay me in
just kidding.
shoes. That's all I want.
Need to get Gigaparts a sponsor, and then we can play with free radios.
That's
You
a
can?
good one. Yeah, are you
Well,
listening, Gigaparts?
Gigapart.
What?
Wink, wink.
Play with new radios.
I've
I'm
got
in.
to
I'm
ask
all in.
Cliff, how does this microphone sound? I bought a mic for the iPhones. Does it sound okay?
It sounds beautiful,
You
man.
sound great,
Hang
yeah.
on. Hang on, I can sound like a
Uh-oh.
CB. Hang on.
Okay,
How
go
does
for
that
it.
sound now? Can you?
Wow.
The echo. You got the echoes. Now, can you interface that into a CB radio? You'd be like you'd own the
I'd be
frequency, man.
I'd be king of the airwaves with that.
Put your amplifier on,
CQDX,
or I
CQDX.
sound like I'm in a Chinese karaoke bar.
Uh-oh.
which would be kind of cool
What's
too,
happening with Kirk?
Listen, okay, wait. We got
Okay,
bad.
go ahead,
Is that bad
Kirk,
grandpa
come
I'm
on.
looking at?
Bad
What-
That's
grandpa.
bad grandpa.
What's he got?
That's the D104.
Looks dangerous.
I guess it.
Bad grandpa. What's going on, man?
It's not working.
Oh.
No kids, no space cadets. They want operators only.
Bad grandpa.
Oh yeah, bad grandpa. How old are you, grandpa? How old are you exactly again?
602.
That's right.
Well, we call him bad grandpa because
I think we went sideways there. I don't know what happened.
he came on. He came to, he's one of the founding members here, so he's been with us since day one. And we go to do our luncheon on Wednesday at noon, and he shows up and he does this voice, and it's he's telling his story about this, how he got the voice and how he would use it, and it was just the most hilarious thing I ever saw in my life. And so we started getting some videos of him doing the bad grandpa, and so we just call him bad grandpa now. We tagged him with that, so that's his AKA, I guess. But
And we always hope that he gets a telemarketer call at lunch.
yeah,
That'll be entertaining.
Oh boy.
listen, this gentleman is bad grandpa is ex detective, LA detective. I mean, he's not like he's radio tech, but he's like a very talented guy. He's I don't know how many hats he wears, but I know of 2 he wears
He
very
knows
well.
all.
Yeah, but he's like the worst person to ever get in contact with. If you're a scammer artist, if you do bad service work,
I say he's
if
weak.
you're, as much as we love Amazon, they better not make a mistake either because
That's right.
He's
He,
retail's best
he makes
friend.
Karen look like just a walk in the park.
when he gets done with them, everything's free. Okay.
Jeff Bezos, you better look out.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sure that there's some letters that he sent or some audio recordings sitting on Jeff Bezos' desk right now. I mean it's like we can't give this guy free stuff because he's pissed off at us, right?
No.
But
Hey, Kirk,
Yeah.
I'd like to, and Cliff, I'd like to mention what we've been doing lately. Just playing around
Okay.
with. We've been experimenting on 2 meters SSB.
oh yeah, which reminds me.
Yes, so we've been working on 2 meters SSB, and there's a
Almost-
net up in Utah that comes on Sunday evenings on 144 250. So I've been building, experimenting with quad antennas and 8-element quad for 2 meters, and it's
How
been
can
a
you sell
lot
it
of
to me? How
success.
can you send it to me? Is it
Yeah,
on YouTube
it-
or is it on?
So
Oh,
no.
try send it to
I
me.
can still
Messenger.
hear you talking, Aaron. Anyway.
Oh yeah, they're over there in the corner. They've abandoned me
know.
here at the desk, and I.
Look,
Yeah,
I'll
do you
just
see, do you see him?
talking.
He's coming back. Yeah, just keep talking.
I'll keep
Then
talking.
he's
But
back
anyway,
now.
okay.
I got the
So
video.
we
We're
got
gonna put it
the,
on.
We got on the net the other night, and with the 8 element, it was only about 15 feet off the ground, if that 12 feet, I think, and I was able to get up into Cedar City, which is 170 miles away, and that was pretty good for SS 2 meters SSB. That was a lot of fun. So
Oh, you said Cedar City?
Cedar
Yeah,
City,
Utah.
yeah.
Okay, yeah.
In
Yeah, I'm very
Utah.
familiar with that place,
So,
yeah.
Yeah,
should
we
have
got
that.
up there, and we spoke to another person,
Oh, yeah.
Blowhard Mountain. Blowhard? it's called?
Blowhard's up in the Cedar Breaks area, I believe.
Yes. Spoke to
Yeah.
a lady up there as well, too. We got through there.
Is she the one that
you know,
does POTA in a big RV?
Yes.
Okay, I saw
think
her
she
photo
does.
someplace.
So, the conclusion we came to is it's all about elevation with
Yeah.
2
Oh, yeah.
meters SSB.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
Robert up in Mount Charleston, he worked someone a couple of weeks ago, I think 340 miles away, and it faded out. But that's a lot of fun we're getting into, all of us. We're trying the 144 SSB, and it's a lot of fun.
Cool.
We're talking about 2 meters, which is a VHF frequency, which typically doesn't propagate, or you can't really get your signal around the world like you can on shortwave radio frequency. So we're talking about line of sight stuff, and to be able to get that signal that far away with how many watts were you running when you talked to him?
I was running about 120 watts maybe with a little
so that's
amp.
that's not
Yeah.
very much power really in the world of ham radio. We're legal up to 1500, and but Aaron should have this video here in a second. I'll send it to
Yeah.
you.
Well, you know, guys, we're going to have meteor showers around the 15th.
Oh,
Oh yeah, Rob up in Canada's getting all that ready. He's doing meteor scatter stuff. It looks a lot of fun.
It's halfway there. Coming.
So
When did-
meteor scatter on 2 meters may be a lot of fun here pretty soon.
Yeah,
that
we've got to
mean you
get
can
set
talk-
up for that, I think.
So,
Kirk.
so meteor scattered communications is we bounce our radio signal off of meteors. Okay.
off a falling star.
Meteors in the sky.
It affects. Thank you very much. The fallen angels. No, the meteor showers. They're coming from outside our atmosphere. Well, the ionosphere is it affects the ionosphere in a way that we can bounce our signals off the
Now explain.
the meteor shower back to the Earth, and we can communicate that way.
And yeah, and who wants to explain what frequencies we usually use for that?
Anybody want to take
Kirk?
Anybody?
Yeah, we usually use VHF. 10 meters will work, 6 meters and 2 meters are really good for that.
Yeah,
It's
62.
actually good all the way up to 1296, but 2 meters is pretty much the easiest one.
And
Yeah, they have a lot-
typically
I think
you
Rob
hear
has
6
success on
meters,
6
I think.
meters.
Yeah, yeah.
And the reason we can transmit over long distances using meteor, because if you think about it, if it's line of sight communication, so at the meteor shower could be, I don't know how many miles up we're talking about. So how many miles do you think the ionosphere is up? Or at what level does it, the meteors hit our atmosphere, basically? So it'd be
Come
like
on, Kirk.
somebody.
I don't have that
Do I need to
answer.
Google this? Well, it's a long way. So the ionosphere is almost like our oxygen layer, if you will, but it's its own layer of ionized atmosphere, if you will, and that's what we use to reflect our signals back down to Earth on shortwave. But
Yep.
in a meteor shower, it really mixes up the ionosphere in such a way that we're able to reflect our energy back to Earth using VHF, which is very
Okay, Roger that. So,
Here's the video.
Hey, I
so
recognize
that's a good info. Please do, man. Share it with
This is
everybody.
Sharon's radio. that I'm
And,
using.
and I want the information as
This
well
is
for
a
sure.
2
you
meter
know.
sideband.
So,
Yeah,
so you're on
radio,
500
radio.
milliwatts, correct?
Okay,
Is it okay? Okay,
yeah,
thank
that's
you.
fine.
That's how you do it, folks. That's how you
Yeah,
get
nice,
away.
man. Yeah, I
That's how
hear
you
you
get away
well.
with it,
Okay,
folks.
well, good.
Just do it.
Yeah,
I've got a little got you on video here too.
Can you turn the volume?
So you sound good, and I mean, 500 milliwatts is not very much
We're
power.
not seeing it yet, Kirk. I mean, Aaron.
Yeah, we're not giving you volume.
Okay, yeah, I can
Yeah, you're
but
S9
there is
right
volume
now.
on it.
There's-
You guys can't hear it, but there is on there.
So what you're looking at, he's transmitting right now at about 10 watts.
So it's like going from 50 watts
No,
to 1,000 watts.
I'm not the most focused. I'm not
That's
very
amazing,
skilled
yeah.
on this video.
Oh, is this today?
Yeah, that's your S9 there. Okay. So, you just can't hear anything.
Yeah, but it's there.
Okay.
You got to turn it up. But so
we just
so
can't.
that's
Okay, now you're
right there,
20 over, my
Andrew. Is
friend.
when you went to 100, or you
Oh,
put
yeah,
your amplifier
great,
on.
nice
that
audio.
portion of the,
Yep.
Yeah, the audio's on there. You just can't hear it on your headphones right now.
Oh, it's already
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Well, anyway,
nice.
so-
You know,
so,
I could barely hear those guys.
I was so impressed that
quad you have is amazing.
Andrew just
I mean,
got through building
I've
an
got the
8-element
10-element
cubicle
Yagi,
quad. I guess we're turning into
up
the
on a
cubicle
30-foot
quad.
mast.
And Hixby
Family.
family, yeah,
I don't really
of
know those
antennas
guys. I just hear
users,
whispers
and
of them, and,
so he built an
you
8-element
copy. I know you're a
long
little bit higher in
boom,
elevation than I am, but
2-meter
still,
cubicle
I think
quad,
I
and he was
should,
doing
done
tests
better than
between
I
that
did.
quad and a 5-element. We were measuring the difference in strength and power that his 8-element.
yeah.
And it was amazing.
Yeah, just get 500
I'm
milliwatts
right,
we
yeah,
got
the
down
first
to,
thing
didn't
you
we?
want.
Half a watt, y'all. 500 milliwatts is like won't even get me from my house to across the street almost. If with walkie-talkies, you know what I mean? But
FRS.
with that antenna, the effective radiated power of that antenna, with that little bit of power, with that big antenna, he brought his signal all the way from Henderson, and I live down the bottom of the valley, and a very good signal. I have it recorded. You can hear the audio. I'm not sure if you hear it on
Yeah.
my voice, but
End of the show.
We got too excited.
we got to end the show already. Listen,
We're
we're not ready to go
already
yet.
at the
You know. The second hour starts. I'm just kidding. Listen, I want to thank everybody for coming on,
Yes.
and being our guest, and the time flew like crazy. So, really appreciate you guys a lot. Gary, we'll see you in the morning, Gary, and Andrew. Thanks for all your support and help.
Always.
And Bad Grandpa,
Thanks, Kirk.
I'm going to
Bye,
come.
everybody.
We'll always be seeing you later, man. Thank you very much. Appreciate you coming on.
Okay.
Bye, Darth.
We're here later.
Bye, Grandpa.
Hey, thanks a lot, y'all.
Bye, guys.
Thank you,
Bye,
Aaron.
guys.
Bye.
And,
Bye,
and
Gary.
thank you, Aaron, as well.
Bye.
Yes.
See you tomorrow.
This is Sharon. I'm Cliff.
Good
God
night,
bless you
Mrs. Calabash, wherever you are.
Awesome.
1964 Jeffrey Bezos, CEO entrepreneur, born in 1964. Jeffrey Bezos. Come on, Jeffrey, you can do it. Pave the way, put your back into it. Tell us why, show us how. Look at where you came from, look at you now. Zuckerberg and Gates and Buffett, amateurs can fucking suck it. Fuck their wives, drink their blood. Come on, Jeff, get 'em!